Hello, come and meet all your favourite characters. Here are the Teletubbies. They love to play.
Now, which way does it go?
Postman Pat's trying to help, but he seems to have got carried away.
Don't leave yet. Come back. I want to get off.
Lower away, Fireman Sam.
Okay, James.
If you're in trouble,
Just relax now. I'll try.
you need Fireman Sam. Pingu loves to play. And he's sure to make you laugh.
We need an extra porter today.
Ooh, can I be a porter? Thank you. All aboard! All aboard!
Watch out, Noddy. Mind that ant. Find all your friends on this fantastic range of videos. And you can hear them on these story tapes. Read about them in our wide range of books, from activity books and sticker books to bath time books. Don't forget the magazines. And these CD-ROMs will provide hours of fun with puzzles and games. BBC Worldwide, a chance to meet all your favourite characters.
Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure there'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Boom, 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 boom. What a lovely day, said Pat to Jess as they drove along the valley on a fine sunny morning. They came into the village and stopped at the post office as they did every day to collect the letters. Good morning, Pat called. Morning, Pat, said Mrs. Goggins. Looks like a busy day for you, lots of letters and parcels. Well, at least it's a nice day for it. That's odd, said Mrs. Goggins. Most of the post seems to be for Katie and Tom Pottage. Ah, but of course it's their birthday. Oh, so it is, said Pat. Won't they be excited when they see all these parcels? They are lucky. I remember when I was their age, waiting for the post. Hey, I'd better be on my way. They'll be looking out for me. Well, I'll be off. Goodbye. Boom, 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 boom. Pat was on his way. Before going to the Pottages, he had to call at the village school. Some of the children had arrived early and were playing in the schoolyard. Bill Thompson came running up to take care of the letters till the headmaster came. He always did that because he was the oldest. Oh dear! Right in a puddle. Sarah and Lucy Selby asked Pat if he was good at hopscotch because they'd just had new lines painted in the yard. "Well, it's a long time since I played," said Pat, "but I'll have a go." Let's see now. He was quite good at it. Whoops! Pat was enjoying the hopscotch so much he almost forgot the time. "Hey, I'll have to be going. We can't have the post being late, can we? Especially today. Bye-bye, Pat. Goodbye." Pat turned in at Greendale Farm. Katie and Tom saw him coming and ran to meet him. They were so excited they couldn't wait to see what Pat had brought them. They're twins, you see, so it was a double birthday. Pat wished them a happy birthday, then took a letter to their mother. Tom's present was just what he wanted. But Katie didn't seem very pleased with hers. "What's up with Katie?" asked Pat. "She's wrong side out today," said Mrs. Pottage. "She's lost Sarah Ann." "Sarah Ann? Is that the little doll she takes to school?" "She takes it everywhere. She's lost without it. I don't know what we'll do if it doesn't turn up." "Oh, it's sure to turn up somewhere." "Trouble is, it could be anywhere. We went to see Aunt Alice yesterday and called at lots of places. She could have left it anywhere." "Don't worry, I'll look for Sarah Ann," said Pat. "I might come across her. I'm good at finding things, you know." "We'll get her smiling again, you'll see. Cheerio." "Come on, Jess. We've work to do." The next stop was the church. The Reverend Timms heard Pat's van coming. There was a card from Cousin Joan on holiday in Mallorca. Pat told him about Katie's lost doll. "Oh, she could have lost it in the church," said Reverend Timms. "She always brings it. Ah, well, seek and thou shalt find. Let's have a look. Mind your head." "Found anything?" called Pat. "Oh, yes, a bump on the head." At last the Reverend Timms did find something, but it wasn't Sarah Ann. It was a lady's glove. It had the letters D.T. sewn inside. "D.T.," said Pat. "Dorothy Thompson, that's whose it is, I'm sure. I'll take it along for her. She will be pleased." "Well, I hope Katie's doll turns up somewhere," said the Reverend Timms. "We'll just keep on looking till it does," said Pat. "Thanks for helping. Cheerio. When Pat and Jess arrived at Thompson Ground, Mrs. Thompson was out with a basket, collecting the eggs. She was surprised when Pat gave her a glove with her letters. "Well, I never," she said. "Where did you find this? I've been looking everywhere for it." Then Pat told her about Katie's doll. "I was looking in the church for it. The Reverend Timms found your glove instead." "Now, let me see. Katie and her mother came to tea yesterday. She could have left her doll under a cushion. We'd better have a look." They searched everywhere. Mrs. Thompson found something, but it wasn't a doll. It was a penknife. "Hey, that looks like Ted Glenn's knife." "Goodness knows when he left it here," said Mrs. Thompson. "Would you take it along for him? He will be pleased to have it back." "Yes, I'll take it." "I do hope you find Katie's doll." "We'll keep looking. See you tomorrow. Cheerio." "Bye-bye, Pat." "What a day," said Pat to Jess. "We found a glove and a penknife, but no Sarah Ann. I wonder if there's any chance of finding her at Ted Glenn's." Ted Glenn was delighted to see his knife. He couldn't guess where Pat had found it. When Pat told him about Katie's lost doll, Ted said, "Hey, she was here yesterday with her mother. They brought a lamp to repair." So they went to look in Ted's workshop. They didn't find the doll, but Ted found a watch that he'd forgotten he had. "Enjoying yourself, Pat?" "That's Miss Hubbard's," he said. "She brought it to be mended ages ago. She must have forgotten all about it. Would you take it for her, Pat?" "Certainly. I'm going that way." "I hope you find the lassie's doll," said Ted. "So do I," said Pat. "I seem to be able to find everything else. Bye, Ted." "So long, then." Miss Hubbard was shopping at Sam's mobile shop, whilst Sam was enjoying a cup of tea. Miss Hubbard was surprised to see Pat, and even more surprised to see her watch. Pat told them all about Katie's lost doll, but they hadn't seen it. "Poor Katie," said Pat, "and on her birthday too." "I know. I'll take her a box of chocolates. That'll cheer her up." "Aha! Sarah Ann. So that's where you've been hiding all this time." "It's Katie's doll," said Pat. I found her when I wasn't looking for her, sitting behind the chocolates. Sam was amazed. That child gets everywhere. I'll take the chocolates anyway, said Pat. They'll make a nice birthday present. Cheerio! Here she is, Jess. Keep an eye on her. When Pat arrived at the twins' party with Sarah Ann and the chocolates, Katie gave a big smile, the first that day. Jess joined in the party, and Pat had a piece of cake. Delicious, said Pat, but it's time we were off. Bye-bye, Pat. Bye. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good time.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat.
Bum 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 bum, bidum dum dilly dum bum bum, brum bum 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 bum.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
There was a thick fog in Greendale. Pat had to go slowly along the winding lanes. Someone waved to him, but he couldn't make out who it was. Good morning, he shouted. He was late when he reached the village post office. Good morning, Mrs. Goggins. Sorry I'm late. No need to hurry, said Mrs. Goggins. There's no sign of the letters yet. It'll be this nasty fog. Come and sit yourself down and have a nice cup of tea. Thank you. That'll be lovely after that foggy drive, said Pat. I'll just brew up. Ah, that's lovely. Pat was just getting warm and comfortable, and Mrs. Goggins was just bringing the tea and biscuits, when ping went the shop's doorbell. It's early for a customer, said Mrs. Goggins. That's a good cup of tea, said Pat. But Mrs. Goggins came in with the mailbag. It's here, she said. What, already? How did he get through so quickly? There's no fog down at Pencaster. It's only in Greendale. So he's not as late as we thought he'd be. Just as I'd picked my favourite biscuit. Oh, well, no time for that now. I'd better get on my way. Hold on, Mrs. Goggins. I'll give you a hand. He helped to sort the letters. Not too many today, thank goodness, with all this fog about. Goodbye. Oh, and thanks for the tea. Mind how you go. It's as thick as ever out here. Pat knew the Greendale roads well enough, but they looked different in the fog, and his lights weren't much help. He must have taken a wrong turn somewhere, so he stopped by a signpost to find out where he was. Oh dear, it wasn't a signpost, only a crossroads sign. Now what? Pat didn't know which way to go. He walked along the lane, trying to see through the fog. I can't see a thing. Oh, I'd better not lose sight of the van. Hey, dear, even my glasses are fogged up. Then he saw someone standing in the field. Why is he so still? It must be Ted Glenn out after rabbits. He'll know the way. I'll pop over with his letter and ask him. Pat walked up very quietly so as not to disturb the rabbits and touched Ted on the shoulder. Ted didn't move. Pat put the letter in Ted's pocket. He still didn't move. Pat gave him a nudge. Oh, it was a scarecrow. Pat did feel silly. He was glad no one saw him. Sorry, Scarecrow. The letter isn't for you. And I don't suppose you can tell me the way in this fog. Goodbye. He was just wondering what to do when he saw some lights coming through the fog. It was Alf Thompson on his tractor. Luckily, he wasn't lost. He soon showed Pat which way to go. Pat was on his way again. He saw Sam's mobile shop parked at the side of the road. Hello, Sam. This fog gets in your throat, doesn't it? Have you got any cough sweets? These'll do the trick, said Sam. Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Cheerio. The next stop was at the church. Hello, Pat. Isn't this fog ghastly? said the Reverend Timms. Don't know how you found your way. What a day for choir practice. But I expect Miss Hubbard will come. Nothing stops her. Thanks, Pat. Go carefully and trust in the Lord. Goodbye. Cheerio, Reverend. When Pat got back to his van, he saw that Jess had gone. Pat looked everywhere. Where could that cat be? Perhaps he'd gone looking for rabbits. Pat set out to seek Jess. He called and called. Jess! Jess, where are you? Jess! Come on, Jess. Hippos, puss, puss, puss. Jess! Jess! Puss, 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 puss. Jess! Come on, Jess. Oh! Come on, Jess. This is no time for hide and seek. Oh! Puss, 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 puss. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Ooh! Where have you been, Jess? This is no time to wander off. Come on. Pat was lost again. Now you've done it, Jess. We're really lost this time. Let's try this way. He couldn't even find the road, let alone his van. Miss Hubbard passed the van on the way to the church. No Pat and no Jess. What could have happened to them? Hello, Vicar. Have you seen Pat? His van's in the road, but there's no sign of him or his cat. Oh, dear. Pat called quite some time ago. They must be lost in the fog. I know what we must do, said Miss Hubbard. We must ring the bells to guide them back to the church. Come along, Reverend. Pull. I wonder why the church bells are ringing. They don't usually ring for choir practice. Still, they're as good as a foghorn. We'll soon find the way now. There's Pat now. Hello, Reverend. Hello, Miss Hubbard. It's a good thing you rang those bells. We were completely lost. Never mind, we're all right now. The Lord is our guide, said the Reverend. Come and have some tea. There's plenty in the pot. Thanks, just what I need, said Pat. There was some milk for Jess. Look, said Miss Hubbard. It's much lighter outside. The sun was shining and a breeze had blown the fog away. "Ah, that's much better," said Pat. "Now I can get on with my letters. Come on, Jess." Cheerio. Farewell.
Bye, Pat.
It was lovely driving along in the sunshine without getting lost. Look, Jess, that scarecrow's still waiting for a letter.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Bum, 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 bum. Dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, bum, bum. Rum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Greendale was having a hard winter, and there'd been another snowfall in the night. It was icy as well. Postman Pat was out on his rounds as usual, but he had to go very carefully. Sam Waldron was out too, with his mobile shop. "Hello, Pat. Rough weather." "Hello, Sam. How's it going?" "Well, I don't think I'll be able to get this van up to Granny Dryden's with the groceries." "I'll take them with the letters," said Pat. "Righto. Here they are. That'll keep her going for a while." "Thanks, Pat. Mind how you go." Cheerio. And Pat was on his way. He skidded and slithered along the steep road to Granny Dryden's house. She was glad to see him, especially when she saw he had her groceries as well as a letter. "Good morning."
"Oh, thank you, Pat. That's lovely. And that letter'll be from that lass of mine down in London. I can't find me reading glasses anywhere. Would you tell me what she says, Pat?"
"Certainly. Now, let's see. She says, 'Dear Mum, just a line to let you know.'"
"Speak up, please, Pat. I can't hear you."
"We'll all be able to come up to Greendale to see you for your birthday.
Jim started school this week, and Dad's bought a new car. All well, and hoping you are too. All our love, Sally and family. That's good news. Thanks, Pat. Have a cup of tea. Thank you, Mrs. Dryden. Just the thing, this cold weather. I'll be on my way before it starts snowing again. Goodbye. Bye, Pat. Pat's next stop was at Ted Glenn's workshop. Morning, Ted.
Hello, Pat.
Why, brr, it's cold outside. That's a grand stove you've got there. I could do with that in my van. Ooh, it's lovely. Here's somebody writing from a warm place. Australia.
It'll be our Bert. It's ages since he's written. That reminds me. I found Bert's old skates this morning. I reckon they'll be just about your size, Pat. Do you fancy trying them out? They say the tarn's frozen hard.
Well, I don't know. I'd love to have a go. Is the ice safe? Has anyone checked it?
Yes, Miss Hubbard. Take them anyway. You never know when they might come in handy. And I've got some of my own.
Thanks, Ted. Cheerio. The wind was blowing the snow into deeper and deeper drifts. Soon, Pat had to stop. The road was blocked. He thought he would never get through with his letters now. Then he looked across to the tarn and saw someone skating on the ice. It's worth trying, Jess. I can take a short cut across the ice.
Come on, Pat, it's lovely.
You stay here, Jess, and mind the van. I'll just put these skates on. Here we go.
Whoa! Lee-dee-dee-dum, yada-dee-dee-do. Whoop-dee-dee-dee-la-da-dee-lim-do. Whoop-dee-dee-dee. Whoop.
Hello, Pat. Hello, Charlie. Special ice delivery today. Thank you. Good skating. George Lancaster was still on the ice. He did get a surprise when Pat whizzed by with a letter. Mrs. Thompson was out for a spin too.
Ouch!
Hello, Pat. What are you doing down there? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Look at Jess.
Whoa. Come on, Jess. That's enough skating for today. We'll get back on wheels.
There were no children at the school. They were all snowed up at home. But the snowman was there. Pat had an envelope in his pocket, so he addressed it to the snowman. Mr. Snowman, The Drift, Greendale School, and tucked it under his arm. Hello, who's that? It was Miss Hubbard and Ted. Hello, Pat. Have you seen my bicycle? The snow must have buried it. We'll have to find it. You dig there, Ted. And you try here, Pat. Oh, where can it be? Who left this gate open? On with the search. Tut, tut, tut. Any luck, Ted? Found something? Just an old kettle. I think it's here. Just in time for choir practice. I'll be off now. I'll open the gate for you, Miss Hubbard. Thank you, Pat. Goodbye. Bye, Miss Hubbard.
Nothing stops her, does it?
See you in church on Sunday.
I'm coming, Jess. Time to go home.
Cheer up, Jess. This snow can't last forever.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Bom, 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 dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, bom, 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 bom. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
There was a touch of spring in the air in Greendale. Pat was on his way. A lovely scent of blossom wafted in at his open window. There wasn't much post today, so he had time to stop. Ooh, isn't it grand? Come on, Jess. Stretch your paws. Well, look who's here. Morning, Miss Hubbard.
Oh, morning, Pat.
Just the day for a bit of painting.
Pat, my canvas, quick, catch it!
I'll get it. Well caught, Hedge. Quite a lively picture this'll be. Here we are, Miss Hubbard. All safe.
Oh, thank you, Pat. This is a most important canvas for the Garner Bridge Art Show. The Pencaster Gazette's offering a prize, a very big prize, I believe. Just think of that.
Well, I never saw that. I've been too busy sorting out letters to read the paper.
Ah, here we go. Not a bad start.
Well, is it? I mean, all that yellow. It fair makes you squint.
Now then, Pat, what do you think of that?
I think the wind's trying to paint you.
Oh, no good, Pat. I'll have to go home and paint a pot of flowers on the kitchen table.
Next day, Pat was out in his van again. There was a parcel for Ted. Morning, Ted.
Morning, Pat. I hope you've got a parcel for me.
I have, and it looks like something special.
Special? I should think so. It's a thingamy-what's-it for this doolally gadget I'm making for the Pencaster Art Show.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a go, but I don't think I could make a doolally what's-it.
Well, there's all sorts of things you could try. What about a spot of painting? I've plenty of tins with a bit left in. I'd be glad to get them used up.
I was watching Miss Hubbard yesterday. It looks a bit messy, especially when the wind gets up.
What you want is a nice lump of clay.
That sounds more my style. But where could I get such a thing as a lump of clay?
I've got a tin of some special stuff. They sent it for me to try out. It's like clay. I haven't got time to bother with it. You're welcome to try if you like.
I'll have a go.
Here you are, plenty there. Just read the instructions.
Thanks, Ted. But what's this thing you're making? What does it do?
Now then, don't tell anybody, Pat. It's to be a secret until the show opens. They've never seen anything like this. It all works with the wind, you see. That's what this fan's here for. What? I'd better be off. I've had enough wind today to last me for a long time. Cheerio. Bye, Pat.
What about a clay mouse, Jess? That might do. At Greendale Post Office,
What's this business about?
everybody was talking.
Hello there. Morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat. Morning, Major. About the art show.
How wonderful to have an art show in our community. Last time I did any painting, what? Painted the fence all round the barracks. Made a bit of a mess of it.
When I was a girl, I was a wonder at needlework, embroidery, all that sort of thing. I can't hold a brush properly now. It's these rheumatics, you know.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. I just have to sort out these letters.
It was 60
Julian has some
years
nice
ago.
stuff.
Committal
When I
and
was on
squishy. I
fatigues
remember
as a
those
lad, what's this business about?
My
Rise
mum
up
said
by
there
numbers,
was no
there
one
was.
to touch me
Quiet,
when it came to
everybody.
needlework.
Now, look, folks, I have these letters to sort out. And if you want any advice, you'd best go have a word with Mr. Pringle down at the school.
Follow me.
I wonder if he would accept that
Mind
I paint
the
a
step.
small model I have. Painting by
These were
numbers.
cushions. Cross-stitching. A bit faded by now.
Hello, Mrs. Goggins. Do you know?
If it's about that blessed poster and the art show, no, Pat, I don't. The whole of Greendale's all a buzz about it, and I'm tired of answering silly questions. Besides, there's a deal of post come in, so there'll be no time for chatting.
Thanks, Mrs. Goggins.
Bye, Pat.
I'm thinking of having a go at something. Just wait and see.
It was a quiet evening for Pat. Sarah was at the WI. Julian was doing his homework. Pat had a look at the Pencaster Gazette. Then he remembered. Now then, what shall I make? First job, get it out of the tin. What does it say? I wish Ted hadn't spilt paint on it. Keep warm and mix a small amount of water. I can't see the rest. Never mind.
Hey up. Oh dear. Ooh, it's alive. Help! More like glue than clay. Oops! Oh! My goodness! Ooh, I'd better get a move on. Oh dear.
Get off! The next morning, Pat phoned Ted.
Hello.
Hello, Ted.
Hey, old Pat. How you doing?
I had a spot of bother with that clay stuff you gave me.
Took me till bedtime to clean it up. What did you make?
A mess, that's what I made, Ted. Nothing else. You should have heard what Sarah said when she came home.
You'll have to follow the instructions, Pat. I'll see if I can get a leaflet about it. I know I've got one somewhere.
Pat just had to have another try. It's beginning to look like something familiar. Ah, Jess was getting fidgety. At last, the day of the art show came. On the way to George Lancaster's, Pat's van was making some very peculiar noises. George heard the noise and came to have a look. Morning, George.
What's wrong, Pat?
Ooh, I don't know. She just conked out.
Let's have a look. I know a thing or two about motors.
Sam Waldron arrived. Hi, Sam.
Hello, Pat. Anything wrong? The main manifold to the exhaust. I suppose it'll do. This distributor looks icky. Hey, Pat. These plugs are mucky.
Oh?
Let's have a shufty. There's nothing wrong with the van, Pat. It's just that it won't run on fresh air. You're out of petrol.
Oh, what a noodle I am. And I'll miss the art show. They're picking the winner this afternoon.
Here you are. I can spare you a drop. Enough to get you down to the village anyway.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
Cheerio, bye.
The van went much better with petrol in it. But not for long.
Oh, dear.
No. Oh, come on, Jess. We'll have to walk the rest of the way. Pat was out of puff when he got to the school. There was no sign of the judge. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Pat. Hello, Pat.
Am I too late?
Ah, hello, Pat.
Ah, there's Sarah.
Hello there.
Pat, over here.
She was looking after Pat's model of Jess. Someone had stuck a notice on it. Hello, Sarah. What's this? Special award? Greendale Prize?
It's a special prize, Pat. Something about your model saving the show.
I didn't think my model was... Hang on. There's something missing. His tail. His tail's missing. I gave him a nice bushy tail.
Pat,
Hello, Ted.
could you spare a minute?
Is there a flood?
There was a leak. You see that pipe? That's a nice lump of clay wrapped round the pipe. That's Jessie's tail. The cold water makes the clay go hard, so it's just the thing to stop a leak. Without that, we would have had to close the show down.
I think Jess deserves first prize. After all, he did help to stop a flood.
He's a first prize cat, is our Jess.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Pat was out and about as usual, with the village letters. Morning, Peter.
Morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Morning, Dr. Gilbertson. Nothing for you today. Good morning, Mrs. Goggins. You look busy.
Hello, Pat. Give me a minute, will you, until I've sorted this out. Oh, drat this string.
Now then, Mrs. Goggins, you just want to take it slowly. Once you find the end...
Huh, that's easier said than done.
Well, it must have an end.
Now he tells me.
Dear me, it does seem to be in a mess. Well, I better be on my way with these letters. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
I wonder if I could cut it into small pieces.
Right, Jess. Ready for off? Jess had been waiting a long time. Never mind, Jess. There might be some mice in Alf's barn. Then you can have a good run. Pat and Jess were on their way. Along the winding lanes. What's that? Hold on tight, Jess. A piece of string across the road? Whatever can it be doing here? I hope it's not part of Mrs. Goggins' tangle. We'd better wind it up before anybody else gets caught up in it. Well, I never. It goes right over this wall. Jess came to have a look. I should have known you'd want to play. I think we'd better see where it goes to. It goes right across the field. It must be a very long piece of string. Ooh. Oh, dear. Come on, Jess. It looks like being a long walk. There was a scarecrow in the middle of the field holding the string for Pat. Hello, Mr. Scarecrow. Let's see. It's a bit tight there. Oh, dear. There we are. That's much better. Sorry to leave you like this, Mr. Scarecrow, but I must go. My goodness. But this field is muddy. Pat came to a wall. Jess was waiting for him. How much further does this string go? over the wall. Hup. Hello, Jess. Where have you been? Oh, oh, ouch. Ow. Ooh, prickles. Oh, lots of them. Ow. I've lost Jess again. Oh, dear. No, I haven't. Now, Jess, don't go disappearing again. Ooh, I'll just get my puff back. Ah, that's better. Ooh, isn't it grand? How much further does this string go? And what have we here? Sheep. A field full of sheep. They were standing on his string. He started to pull. Can you all stand still for a minute whilst I sort this out? Bye-bye, sheep. Pat was thinking that it must be a very long piece of string to have come this far when he came to a gap in a wall. The string went through the gap and up another hill to a tall tree, where it finally disappeared into the leaves and branches. Well, there must be something special at the end of such a very long piece of string. Whatever can it be? Who is that behind the tree? Oh, goodness me. Young Katie and Tom. What are you doing here? And what are you looking such miseries about?
It's our new super kite, Pat. Stuck in the top of this tree. We can't get it down.
Pat pulled at the string, but the kite would not move. It looks well and truly stuck. There's Peter. I wonder if he can help. Peter! Peter! What with the noise of the tractor, Peter Fogg didn't hear Pat's call. Peter! Peter! Hello, Pat! I was just asking myself how to get the twins' kite down from that big tree. I wonder if your tractor would be high enough for me to stand on and...
I'd like to help, Pat, but I don't think this tractor's big enough. Sorry, got to finish before it gets dark. Bye, Pat.
Bye. Then Ted Glenn's lorry came round the corner. It had a ladder on the back. Ted! Ted! Stop a minute! Hello, Ted. Can we borrow your ladder for 5 minutes to get a kite out of that tree?
Well, I can't be too late. I've got to mend Dr. Gilbertson's greenhouse before the frost gets at her tomatoes.
It won't take long.
Is that young Katie and Tom? Is it their kite?
Yes, it is.
Right. Let's see what we can do. You go that end, Pat. Are you ready?
I've got it. Pat and Ted soon had that ladder off the lorry. Round she goes. And over the wall. Hang on, Ted. I'll nip into the field.
Right you are. Whoops-a-daisy. Climbing walls. Reminds me when I was young. Off we go.
I could never have done this by myself, Ted.
Not with a ladder like this, you couldn't. Up she goes. Mind your fingers. I'll hold the ladder, Pat, and you go and have a look. Mind yourself.
I'll soon deal with this, never fear.
Steady as you go.
It was going to be a long climb, seeing it was a tall tree. Well, bless me. There's the kite. And Jess as well. How did you get here, Jess? Come on, Jess. Don't be frightened. Come on. Look out! Oh, there goes the kite.
Quick, catch it! Hooray! Oh, thanks, Pat. Clever Pat. And clever Jess, too.
We've got the kite, but poor old Jess is stuck up here now.
Well, I'll have to get a move on. Dr. Gilbertson will never forgive me if the frost gets to her tomatoes.
Jess got up the tree on his own, so I hope he can get down the way he went up.
You don't need to bother about Jess. He's already here, waiting for you.
Bless us all, has that cat got wings? Now, off you go home, Katie and Tom, before it gets dark. And keep a good hold on that kite.
Bye, Pat. Bye-bye, Pat.
Hang on, I'll give you a hand with that ladder.
Are you ready, Pat?
Ready when you are, Ted. Back to the lorry.
Give it a push, Pat.
Over to you, Ted.
OK, now leave it to me.
Thanks, Ted. Good luck with the greenhouse.
Bye, Pat.
Hello, have you popped up again? You get everywhere, don't you, Jess? Ted was on his way. Pat waved to him, then went to look for his van. He still had his letters to deliver. The only thing was, well, all the fields looked alike, and Pat didn't know which way to go. And Jess had disappeared again. Now, that looks like somebody I know. It was Mr. Pringle. Hello, Pat. Just out for a walk, you know. Looking for your van, maybe? Well, yes, I was just wondering. 3 fields that way. Turn left at the buggy bit. And you'll be there in a jiffy. It seemed much further than Mr. Pringle had said. He came to a road. It looked like one that Pat knew. Ah, there's my van. Safe and sound. Where's Jess? I can't leave without him. I should have guessed. Fast asleep in his basket. We'd better get these letters delivered. Don't want to be late for tea, do we, Jess?
Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Here he comes. It's Postman Pat on his way with the letters. Buzzing about Greendale. Busy as ever. There are some letters for Granny Dryden today. Won't be long, Jess. Is somebody busy with a spot of painting? Looks like it. Hello, Granny Dryden.
Morning, Pat.
There was Granny Dryden standing on a box, sploshing at the wall with the paint.
I can't hold a brush properly now. It's these rheumatics, you know.
You're making a grand job of that. It's going to look lovely when you've finished.
Nay, Pat, I'll not be able to make a right job of it. The ceiling wants doing, and I'll never reach that in all my days.
Would you like a hand with it? I could borrow a stepladder from Ted. I'll pop round after work and do that ceiling for you in 2 ticks. You might need a drop more paint, though. Let's have a look. How much is there in this one? I think it's empty.
Do be careful. It's messy stuff. Oh! Oh. Now you've gone and done it. All down your nice clean trousers. See if you can wipe it off before it soaks in.
I think it's just making it worse. Spreading it out.
Ooh, I'm sorry about your trousers. What is Sarah going to say?
Never you worry about that. It was my fault. I should take more care. I expect that's what Sarah will say. I'll nip home and change. These are not my best pair, luckily. I'll see you this evening.
Oh, you are kind, Pat. Now mind how you go.
Cheerio, Pat.
Bye, Granny Dryden. Pat was on his way. Jess was wondering what the funny smell was. It didn't take long to get home. Sarah did get a surprise. Hello? Anybody in? It's just me. Hello there.
Oh, what are you doing back at this time of day? And what on earth have you done to your trousers?
It's only a drop of paint. You see, he told her all about Granny Dryden's ceiling.
Well, you can't put your best pair on. I took them to the cleaners in Pencaster yesterday, and they won't be ready till Thursday.
What am I going to do?
You could look in the airing cupboard. I think there's an old pair that you do the gardening in.
Well, it'll be better than nothing. I'll have a look. Sarah had her own work to get on with. When she saw Pat coming downstairs in his old trousers, she couldn't help laughing.
Are they long shorts or short longs?
I can't hang about any longer with all these letters to deliver. They'll do.
Good luck, Pat.
Bye. He was on his way again with rather chilly knees. Jess didn't know what to make of Pat's bare knees. He thought summer must have arrived early. They called on Miss Hubbard next. She had been doing a spot of gardening and nearly dropped the flowers she was carrying when she saw Pat.
Goodness me, Pat. What are you doing in those shorts? It's not summer yet.
They're not shorts, Miss Hubbard. They're an old pair of trousers. It's Granny Dryden, you see. She's painting her room, and she can't reach the ceiling. And
I don't believe a word of it. It's that post office. They're going all continental. Something to do with this common market business. Oh, what a lark. Did you say Granny Dryden was painting? Do you mean a picture?
no, she's painting her sitting room, and I'm giving a hand with the ceiling.
Well, I don't know what that's got to do with wearing Bermuda shorts. Hey-ho, it's a funny old world. But what she will need is plenty of sheets to cover the furniture.
Oh, yes, I don't think she's got many. I didn't see any.
She'll certainly need some sheets if you're going to help her. I've seen what a man can do with a pot of paint. I'll just get some out of the cupboard for you.
Oh, dear. They are a bit on the short side. I hope I didn't get a pair of Julians by mistake.
Here we are. Whoops! No! Ooh!
Help! A ghost!
Oh, drat this thing! Get it off, I say! Oh!
Is it you, Miss Hubbard?
Of course it's me! What a question! Don't just stand there. Get me out of this!
I can't help you if you jump around like that,
What
Miss
an
Hubbard.
annoying business! Oh! 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 Oh, what a relief. Now, Pat, pop that in your van and let's have no more nonsense about ghosts.
Pat was on his way again. There was a cold breeze blowing, so he kept the sheet on his lap to keep his knees warm. They called it Ted Glenn's workshop. There was no sign of Ted. Hello? Ted? Anyone at home? Post? Where has he got to? Ted was getting his spring carrots in when he heard somebody bumping about in his workshop. He thought he'd better go and have a look. You never know, it might be a burglar. Ted crept very quietly round to the door.
Stop!
Oh, help! Oh, Ted.
Sorry, Pat. I thought you were a burglar.
Postman come house painter, more like. I've promised to give Granny Dryden a hand with painting her ceiling. Do you think I could borrow a ladder?
I'll do better than that. I'll give you a hand. Are you doing it before you go on holiday?
Holiday? What gave you that idea, Ted?
It's the snazzy shorts. Very smart.
Cheerio.
Ta-da, Pat. I'll meet you tonight at Granny Dryden's with the ladders. 7 o'clock.
Pat was off again. To Thompson Brown. Dorothy was tidying up in the yard.
Oh, it's Pat. I wonder what he's brought today.
Lots of letters today, Dorothy. And it's a right busy day. A touch of spring in the air. What with you getting all tidied up and Granny Dryden painting her room.
I hope she has plenty of paint. It always takes twice as much as you think it's going to need.
Well, she might be a bit short.
Like your trousers.
Well now, that's another story.
We have plenty of pots in the barn. Always painting something we are. I'm sure we can spare a drop for Granny Dryden. Just keep a lookout for our silly hens. They get everywhere.
Hey up. Ooh, it's a bit dark in here. This looks like the sort of thing.
It's on a shelf. Have you found it?
Ooh, it's a bit dark in here.
Oh, help! A flying paint pot.
Oh, ouch.
I'll wait out here till you've done with the ends. Oh! You do look nice. I love the feathery finish. To go with the shorts, I suppose.
Time to go home. It was a busy scene at Granny Dryden's cottage that evening. We'll soon be done. It'll be just like new. I think I've about done my bit.
It's a right bobby dazzler.
And I've a surprise for you.
We can clear this now.
Come and sit down and admire your nice new ceiling.
Oh, it's lovely. It really is. I could never have done it on my own. Oh, you are kind.
Here, look at this. I've found another pot of paint.
Give it a good stir before it sets hard.
Nay, it isn't a pot of paint at all. It's a cake.
A surprise, just to say thank you to both of you.
Now that's the best pot of paint I ever saw.
And it's one you can't spill down your trousers.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
It was a lovely morning in Greendale. The flowers were blooming in Pat's garden. And so were the weeds. Pat was up early. The garden needs a going over. I could do a spot of weeding before I go to work. Pat arrives at the garden shed. I'll need a spade. He soon found what he wanted. Here we are. Just the job. This'll help get rid of these blooming weeds. There was plenty to choose from.
Just look at that time. Pat's going to be late with the post.
Pat, you best leave those weeds now. Time's getting on. It's nearly past.
Hang on. I'll be there in a minute. I'll just shift this. Out you come. Ooh. Ouch! Oh dear. Help! Sarah was busy and didn't hear Pat come back. Ooh. Ouch! Oh, my back. Ooh.
Are you all right, Pat? Oh, dearie me, what's happened to you?
Ooh. Oh. It's my back. Oh, it doesn't half hurt. I was just pulling this grass.
Here, let me straighten you up.
Ow! Ow! Oh, stop. It's worse like that.
I think I'd better call the doctor. I can't leave you standing there all day, propped up on the table. Bless me. That's just the person I need.
Dr. Gilbertson happened to be passing.
Hello, Doctor. Oh, what a piece of luck, seeing you. Poor old Pat's hurt his back. Can you come in and have a look at him? Of course I can. Poor Pat. Now then, Pat, what have you been up to?
Oh, hello, Doctor. Only a bit of weeding. Ooh, ow! It's my back.
Let's have a look now. Does it hurt when I press here?
Ow! Oh!
Sorry about that. Yes, you've pulled more than grass. You've pulled a muscle. That's what you've done. And you'll need to rest it. A day in bed, and you'll be as right as rain.
A day in bed?
That's right. And I'll send round some lotion to help ease the pain.
Oh, dear.
Bye for now.
Cheerio, Doctor.
Bye, and thank you.
What about the post? I can't just stay in bed with all the letters and parcels waiting to be delivered. I know. You can take the letters.
Oh, me? You're joking. Well, I suppose I could. I did work for the post office once, and I can drive.
Give old Sid a ring in Pencaster. I'm sure he'll be able to fix it. There's nobody could do it better than you. You know the way round as well as I do.
Well, I will. It'll make a nice change going out with the post. I'll give them a buzz right now. Oh, hello, Sid. Yes, it's Sarah. I'm calling to see if I can replace Pat today.
I can't stay here all day.
He's got a bad back. That's fine. Yes, you too. Bye. There we are. That's all fixed up. Now, I wonder if Pat's hat will fit me. Oh, postwoman Sarah. What a laugh. I'm off, Pat. Sid gave the OK. Have a nice rest. Bye.
Bye, Sarah. Jess wondered what was going on. He went back inside to see if Pat was still there.
I take the loop.
Mrs. Goggins was busy at the post office.
Here comes Pat. Morning, Mrs. Goggins. Morning, Pat. Hello. Oh, it's Sarah. Where's Pat? He's hurt his back and has to stay in bed. I'm taking the post today. It's all arranged with Pencaster. Oh, that's all right then. I'm sorry to hear about Pat. There's not much post today. It's all in this bag. It'll be a bit of a change. For you, I mean. I hope it all goes well. Oh, I'm sure it will. Do you mind asking Dorothy Thompson for her carrot cake recipe? It's not something I could ask of Pat. Of course, don't worry. Cheerio.
Sarah's next stop was at the village church.
Hello? Anybody there? Morning, Reverend.
Bless me. What's happened to your voice, Pat? Oh, it isn't Pat. Sarah. What a surprise. And a parcel. Lovely. But where is Pat?
Laid up with a bad back for the day.
Oh, the poor boy. I'll pop in and give him a game of chess. That'll take his mind off it.
Thanks, Reverend. Cheerio.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, she picks up all the postbags in her van.
Sarah was on her way. At Thompson Ground, Dorothy Thompson was very busy in the kitchen.
That sounds like Pat. Now I wonder if he's forgotten. It'll make a nice surprise. Morning, Pat. I just thought you... Oh, it's Sarah. Yes, Pat's in bed with a bad back. So I'm doing the post today. Pat? With a bad back? Today of all days? Oh, what's so special about today? Today? Oh, Nothing. It's, well, you know, I just thought, oh dear. Oh, I nearly forgot. Mrs. Goggins asks if she can have you a carrot cake recipe. What? Parrot cake? I'm not sure. Just now, you see... but I can see you want to be on your way, and all that. What with all those letters to deliver, I'll not hold you up. Good luck. Cheerio. Oh, yes. Well, I'll be off then. Goodbye. What's she in such a hurry for? Folks are acting a bit peculiar. I wonder if they're always like this. I must ask Pat.
Sarah was on her way. It was the last call for the day at George Lancaster's place. He'll be looking forward to getting his Farmer's Weekly. But there was no sign of him.
Anybody at home?
Well, hello, Sarah. What a surprise.
Hello, George. Here's your magazine. Pat's at home, in bed with a bad back.
You were early with the post. I mean, you mustn't be too quick, must you? Do you fancy a sandwich?
No, thanks. I'm fine. I must be going.
Well, how about to look at my prize ends, then? Now, isn't this one a beauty? You can hold her if you like.
No, thanks, George. I really must be on my way.
Nay, you'll not go without a cup of tea, will you?
I must see how Pat's getting on. Bye.
You could take Pat some eggs.
Bye, George.
What a strange day it had been. She was hoping that Pat would be up and about.
Hello, Jess. Have you been taking good care of Pat? Hello, Pat. I'm home.
There was no answer.
It's me, Sarah.
There was still no reply.
Oh, it's dark.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Anniversary? And I thought Pat had forgotten. Remember, she's my sister.
We all wanted you to have a special party as a big surprise.
Have an anniversary cake. I can tell you I had a shock when I saw you coming with the post. Well, I did smell baking, but you didn't give me time to ask about it.
And here's one parcel that arrived late. Happy wedding anniversary.
Oh, lovely. Oh, but I nearly forgot. How's your back? The ointment I gave him and the day's rest did wonders. Here's to Pat and Sarah.
Ornithologist, my fault.
Hooray for Greendale!
Hooray!
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
It was time for the post to be on its way in Greendale. Time to get a move on, Jess. This old van, thought Pat. Wasn't it about time he had something a little more up to date? Before leaving the village, he stopped at the vicarage. Oh, dear me, what a rush! Oh, good. There's Pat. Hello, Pat. I'm so glad you're in good time. Morning, Reverend. Dear me, what a rush. What's the hurry? Oh, do come in. I'm sure you can help. It's all to do with Mr. Pringle and the Major. Always at the last minute. Bless us all. It's this film show they're giving. All about... Now, what did the Major say? Something about flying, I believe. It says in this paper that there's to be a surprise arrival. I'd love to see that. Oh, do come. Tea? Yes, please. Bring Sarah and Julian. Bring as many people as you can. Day after tomorrow. Thing is, there's not much time to tell people. Oh, don't worry. I'll tell everybody. I see most folks on my rounds. That's kind, Pat. And if you could give them a leaflet as well. Miss Hubbard's running them off on that machine of hers. She's my next call. I'll pick up a good pile of leaflets, don't you worry. Thanks for the tea. Bye. Bye, Pat. Pat couldn't help wondering what the surprise arrival was to be. Would the Major be dressing up? Maybe he'd come in a new car. And would Miss Hubbard know about these things? Here we are. I hope Miss Hubbard's got the leaflets ready. Anyone at home?
Morning, Pat. Oh, you're just in time.
Hello, Miss Hubbard. Anything the matter?
The copier stopped right in the middle of printing these leaflets for...
The Major's film show.
Oh, so you know. Well, there's not a minute to lose. It's all in a rush. But I'm sure you'll find the fault in no time.
I don't know. Let's try and move a few things and see what happens. Have you tried these buttons?
Of course.
I suppose this piece, it just slides... Whoops! Oh, it's come off.
Oh, Pat, do take care.
I wonder what's hiding in here. Whatever it is, it's come undone. It's amazing what you can find on these machines. Little doors that... Hey up, something's just dropped out. Oh, it's made a right mess.
The floor! Oh, what's all that black powder? Oh dear.
It's a bit mucky, isn't it? You wouldn't think there'd be so much in it. Just a minute. Hold that.
Pat, I'm rather worried.
Lots of bits to go back. There's got to be something in here. There you are. A piece of paper jamming the works. Now, where did this come from? Sounds a bit rough, doesn't it? But it seems to be working. I'm sure it'll settle down.
It is rather smudgy and a little lopsided, do you think?
Never mind. They'll make out the most important bits. I'll tell them about the parts they can't read. Bust me on my way. Cheerio.
But Pat, what about the mess? Oh, well, never.
Jess thought Pat needed a wash. Perhaps a cat lick would do. But then, maybe not. The smell of burnt paper put him off. Thompson Ground, next stop.
Hello, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Morning, everyone.
A mucky one, if you ask me. I wish you'd told us you were sweeping chimneys in your spare time. We've got a couple that need doing.
Oh, don't you listen to him, Pat. But we've got plenty of hot water if you'd like a wash.
No thanks, Dorothy. There's no time. What with all this post to deliver and these leaflets about the Major's film show to give out, I hope you'll come.
Oh, yes, we'll come all right.
So long as we don't get mucky faces like yours, Pat.
Nay, there's no chance of that. Bye.
Bye, Pat.
Cheerio.
Pat was on his way. Ted Glenn was sorting out some wood when Pat arrived.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Ted.
What's all this about, then? A film show? Gee, I've always been interested in flying. I'll definitely be there. But what have you been up to, Pat? Mending that old van of yours again?
Oh, it's a long story, Ted. And I haven't got time to stop. Anyway, I'll see you at the film show. Bye.
Right you are then, Pat. Cheers.
The day of the film show came.
Children, down at the front, please.
Spool taut.
When does it start?
Will they be selling ice cream?
I knew it.
Down.
It's dropped.
Oh, I knew the Major would be late. Good. Here's Pat. I'm sure he can help. Have you seen the Major, Pat?
Missing, is he, Reverend?
Did I tell you about the surprise?
Surprise, Reverend? I think you did mention it.
Yes, the Major promised there would be a surprise. But oh dear, he's late.
Tell you what, I'll pop up to Garner Hall and see if he needs a hand with anything. Won't be long. At Garner Hall, There was scaffolding all up one side, but no sign of the Major. But he's not in.
Help! Ahoy!
What's that?
You down there!
I'm hearing voices.
Pat! Can't you hear me, man?
Hello?
By Jove, the man's deaf.
Where are you?
Pat!
Who's that on the roof? It was Major Forbes waving from the basket of a hot air balloon.
It's me, you noodle. Do pay attention, Pat. My jolly old anchor rope has got mixed up with the chimneys, what? Be a good fellow. Climb up and see if you can cast me off.
You want me to go up there? I'm not very good on roofs. I get dizzy. Why do I always get these jobs? I wish Ted Glenn was here. He's good at climbing onto roofs. What are you doing up here, Major? In that basket thing?
There's no time for idle chat, man. Catch hold of that rope.
I don't believe I'm doing this.
It's wrapped itself round the chimney stack.
Steady on. It's not easy on these tiles. Whoops! Let me get this untangled. Now, which way does it go?
Come along, Pat.
I'm trying my best.
Shake a leg, I'm late as it is.
Hey up! Where are you going? Don't leave yet. Come back. I want to get off.
I'll be with you in a jiffy.
But I'm out here, and I don't like it.
Now that we're moving, must see all shipshape.
Help! I want to get off. Ooh. Where's my van?
Sorry, Pat. Can't stop. Just hang on for dear life.
Ooh, it's a long way down there. Help! Pull me up.
Stop fussing, man, and get in. Heave-ho!
Put me down. I want to get off.
Ooh. You're all right now. Safe and sound.
Where has the Major got to? I can't see anyone. Can you... Oops.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's all this looking up at the sky. It's making me quite dizzy.
The sky is where the surprise is coming from, Reverend. But I can't see what that has to do with Major Forbes.
Look, what's that? Where? Oh, look. That big thing in the sky.
It's coming this way.
It's a balloon.
There's the church. And the post office. Hey up, Major. There's a tree coming up fast.
I'll give her a blast. Up she goes.
Well, I never. Pat and the Major in a hot air balloon. What a surprise indeed. The Major and Pat dropping from the skies.
There's the Major. And Pat. Wow, what a lark. Yippee!
This is great. Yeah, super fast.
I would never have done it without Pat. It was those stupid chimneys of mine. Got caught, what? I would never have guessed, Major, that you were an expert on hot air balloons. Now come and tell us some more. Hello, one and all. Nice to see so many of you here today. I thought it might be of interest if I told you of my adventures travelling by hot air balloon in different places around the world. Thank you, Mr. Pringle.
Quiet, children.
I was stationed at the time on the west coast of Africa, and my first trip started just outside the town of Binji. I remember just missing the rooftops by inches.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.